Hey guys, welcome back for another Oily Skin Diaries foundation review. Today I'm going to be putting a foundation to the test, show you application, before and after, wear time, flash photo test, all with timestamps down below if you'd like to skip ahead. But this time it's a little bit interesting because really we're going to cut right to the chase. I'm not going to talk to you about foundation claims, price, availability, or anything because I have no idea what I'm testing. This was a super fun idea brought to me by one of you, Monique Forrester, so thank you so much for suggesting it. I thought it was such a great idea. Also encouraged by Zoe and Belinda on Twitter, who were kind of like, are you gonna do this? Essentially, what's happening is I'm gonna review a foundation. I have no idea what foundation it is, what its claims are, or anything like that, so I'm going into it totally blind. I may have already actually reviewed it. I have no idea, and I might make a big liar out of myself. But what I did was I went into Sephora with my friend LJ. I showed her a foundation shade that matched me, and then she went with one of these Sephora associates to find 3 other foundations that looked to be a match. And now I'm gonna just choose one of these, put it on my face, do the whole shebang, wear it throughout the day, and at the end of the day, I didn't know what the best way to do this was, so this could be like a totally roundabout way to do it. So if you like this and you want to see it again and have suggestions, please let me know down below. I think it's a super fun idea. But I got my boyfriend then to email me 3 separate documents labeled foundation 1, 2, and 3. So at the end of the day, I will open up that email, see what the foundation is, and then we will match up what the brand claims versus what I actually experienced. So let's go ahead and put this on my face. So out of all the foundations, I've chosen foundation number 2. It seems to be a good shade match, so let me open up the little pot. And with any Sephora, you can get foundation samples even if you don't want to do a mystery test, if you're curious about a foundation, so that you can figure out if it works for you, if it's a good shade match. Don't be embarrassed to ask. It's a great way to avoid having to purchase something that you don't end up liking, or a good way to try a few different foundations. So I don't think it has much scent. It looks, I'll show it to you. So it seems quite thick. Oh, wait, yeah. I couldn't tell if it's gonna fall out. It just has a little peak there at the top, but it does look quite thick. No real scent. I'm really trying to determine if I've smelled this before. I just primed this half of my face. Okay, seems to be a good color match. I'm just gonna put a little bit on, and I'm gonna use a brush. I think that this is just such a fun idea. If you guys ever have video recommendations or ideas, let me know down below. So I just built it up a tiny bit there on my skin, but I think that this is just like, I mean, I obviously know that this is from Sephora, so it's not going to be a drugstore foundation. But if you have any other suggestions of products you'd like to see, or recommendations for how this style of video should go, and if you'd even like to see it again, if you found it helpful or whatnot, or just entertaining, I'm open to your suggestions. It's building nicely. Definitely doesn't feel like it's going to be super matte, but maybe we'll see. It just has a really like creamy consistency, so I wonder if it will set or not. And the color seems good. It does seem like just a little bit neutral for me, but that's no problem. Otherwise it looks really good. And this is also an interesting way, like I might find a foundation that I would have never tried otherwise, for whatever reason, be it the claims, the price tag, something like that. So I may discover something I love, or I may discover something that I hate, but either way, I'm a foundation junkie, and it's such a fun idea to think about going into it blind, because you don't really know how much it really affects your review based on the price or the brand or whatever it may be. So as you can see, the foundation looks really good on the skin. It definitely has some shine. I did my brows while I was just trying to see if it was going to set at all, and it does feel like it's set slightly on my skin, but it definitely still has quite a bit of shine to it. It has about a medium to full-ish buildable coverage. I had a lot of redness on this side of my face, and I feel like it did a really good job building on that, but I don't like to build up foundations too much because that can cause definitely more oiliness throughout the day, and because this is looking fairly dewy, or dewier than I normally go for, I'm a little bit scared about that. But overall, it feels really nice on the skin. I do feel like I can see my pores a little bit here, but I feel like that's because of the shine. I'm not totally sure, but it definitely looks good on the skin. It feels lightweight as well, and I'm wearing the Too Faced Peach Primer on this side, and I don't know if the peachiness smell is like interacting with the foundation. I have no idea. I feel like I haven't reviewed this before, and I hate to say that because I may look like a complete idiot, and this is like one of my favorite foundations ever, but it just doesn't feel familiar. I don't feel like I know it, you know what I mean? So I will list all the makeup that I'm about to put on my face down below, and I will also list the foundation, but I don't think I'm going to list the actual foundation name. Maybe I'll have to wait for you to like click through to make it a little bit more of a surprise after. I mean, I'm already gonna tell you at the end of the video. I don't know, this is my first time doing this, okay? I'm just flying by the seat of my pants here, but I'm gonna go ahead and put on the rest of my makeup, do some flash photo tests, and I'll be right back. I have the rest of my makeup on now, and if you're curious about this eye look, I did an Instagram tutorial. It's featuring the new NARS Wanted eyeshadow palette, so I will link to that down below if you are curious. But overall, I think that the foundation looks really nicely on the skin. I definitely like it more now that I've powdered it. It feels much more secure on my oily skin, and everything blended really nicely over it. I feel like it looks quite nice on the skin. Even looking up closely, it sits really beautifully. I have a lot of active breakouts right now with some dryness around them, and it seems to do a pretty good job getting around any of that dryness and not clinging on to that. My skin also looks quite smooth. The side that's primed maybe looks slightly better than the other, but not really. I think they both look really good. I am a little bit worried about how kind of dewy it was when I initially put it on my skin, but we will see how it wears throughout the day. As for photos, I think that it looks good here in my studio kind of lighting here. You can see that natural sheen to my skin. As for flash photo, I am definitely looking quite ghostly. I don't know if this has a strong SPF or what it may be, but definitely quite a bit of flashback there. But as I've said before, that's not a deal breaker for me. And might I just add that these photos that I take of myself here with no concealer, no brows, no lashes, just foundation, especially when there's a flash photo, the most unflattering thing I've ever seen of myself. And every time I go to edit one of these videos, I'm like, oh, I'm just thinking about all the people that are gonna see my face looking like that. Anyways, it's for a good cause. I'm gonna go ahead about my day and I will check back with you in some natural light midway to see how it's going. So I thought I would do my midday check-in. It is a little bit earlier than what I normally do, but I'm about to head out the door and I don't know how long I'm gonna be out, so I wanted to grab this light while I had it and show you how it looked. I think things look really, really good. It's definitely like a strong medium coverage, I would say, now that I'm out of my studio lighting, but it actually has become more, I'm sorry if you can see like mess in my house. I'm trying to hold up the camera so you can't see anything. But I think that it looks really good on my skin, and I'm just gonna powder lightly before I head out the door. But it's almost like the dewiness has really kind of dissipated and it feels quite kind of locked into my skin. I don't feel like anything has oxidized or anything, so let me just powder quickly. And because I don't have like a bunch of oil on my face, I don't feel the need to blot. So I will check back with you at the end of the evening and we will find out what this foundation is. I am so curious. Okay, I'm gonna call it a day because I am just dying to know what is on my face. I definitely look a little bit shiny now. My ring light always makes things look a little bit shinier than what they actually are, but I'm gonna blot and powder again just to kind of see how it performs. I will say that it does look slightly cakey around my nose area and a little bit on my kind of pores, and I think that's because the oil is starting to come through, but nothing that's bad or that looks really horrible. And I'm just gonna lightly powder as well. I don't feel like it has oxidized or really worn away, just ever so slightly here where I was wearing sunglasses when I was out earlier today. And I feel like the coverage has faded slightly, if that makes sense. But I think it looks really good, and my highlight is still in place. It has maybe worn away ever so slightly here as well where I was wearing a scarf. And primed versus unprimed look about the same as well. So let's go ahead and figure out what this foundation is. Take a look at the claims, because I mean, at the end of the day, a foundation can claim whatever it wants, but what's really important is how it performs on the skin. As of right now, I am quite happy with the performance, so let me open up that email. I'm dying to know what's on my face. Okay, going into my email here, let's do this together. As I mentioned, I got my boyfriend to send me 3 separate emails of the 3 foundations. Let me find those emails. Okay, foundation number 2, downloading, Cover FX Oil-Free Foundation. Oh, that's amazing. Cool. Okay, let me look it up. Ooh, it's like, I don't know, it's such an interesting idea. And it also says that I'm wearing the shade N60, and I will list some popular foundation shades that I am down below. But I'm just gonna jump on the Sephora app here and see what they say about this guy. I knew it was a foundation I hadn't tried before. I was like, I've never met you before. Okay, so this is it here. It's the Cover FX Natural Finish Foundation. It says it's a medium or full coverage for sensitive, normal, or dry skin with a radiant finish. Huh. See, I would have never picked this out. It has 40 shades, it's oil-free, hydrating, and has a radiant second skin finish, has vitamin C, vitamin E, and buildable coverage as well. with a lightweight texture. So I feel like I was pretty spot on there. It definitely is radiant to begin with, medium leaning full, and it did feel quite lightweight on the skin as well. It's $46 Canadian, and you're getting a full fluid ounce in here. Comes in kind of like a squeezy tube, and I think I mentioned, but there's 40 shades in there, which is amazing. Overall, I'm really happy with this foundation, and something that kind of touts itself as being good for normal, dry, or sensitive skin with a radiant finish is not something I would ever reach for, so I'm really glad that I gave this one a try. I definitely like it, and I think if you do have a more dry skin type, you could like this one as well, because it definitely went on quite dewy to the point where I was expecting this to be a real mess, but it just with the powder, it held up really nicely. I would definitely recommend powdering if you do have oily skin. I can't imagine blending bronzer or blush or anything on top of it without. I never do, even with matte foundations, but I think that this could potentially be one of those foundations that is good for all skin types, but if you are oily skin type, just you need to take those precautions. So this was super fun. That is a foundation I have yet to try, which I'm so glad. I was really hoping I didn't come out of this looking super stupid, so I'm kind of happy with those foundation deduction skills. I have 2 more foundations in samples, which I don't know what they are. If you would like to see this video again, or if you would like to see it for any other types of makeup, I'm not totally sure how I would go about that, but if you have any ideas, let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching, and if you'd like to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat at Samantha Jane YT. Oh, and let me know down below if you checked before I even revealed what the foundation is, or did you wait till the end? I want to know. Okay, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!